So, welcome. Welcome to this stream. How are you this evening? I hope you liked that little introduction jam. So this stream is going to be around this machine and the Maschine Jam. So we have the Maschine mk3 and the Maschine Jam and this little M-Audio Key Station Mini. But we're not going to talk so much about the Jam, but rather look at the Maschine mk3 today. Hi there, Rohit. Welcome, Mr. And we have, let's see here, Chris Calder. Welcome. Stone King FM. Hello. Welcome. So the track I was jamming in this introduction is actually a track that I finished about, I think it's maybe 1 year, one and a half year ago that I finished this track, and it's called Marsiascope. And it's up on Spotify and Apple Music, etc. But yeah, it was fun to revisit this little track. It's been quite a while since I played it through. So it's a kind of vibe, chilly vibe ambient track. And yeah, do we have any new MK3 owners in here? Any new machine users? So basically, maybe I just could talk a little bit about this Maschine mk3. It's first of all, it's like a beat machine, but someone asked me a while ago if it's standalone. It's not standalone. You have to use this with either the Maschine standalone DAW or use it with the Maschine plugin, which can be inserted into your host. So it's not standalone. You have to bring your laptop if you want to jam with this. If you want to jam with this little sweet device. If you want a complete standalone solution, there's the Akai Force and I think it's called the MPC Live. But yeah, there's pros and cons with all these different devices. Of course, with the Maschine mk3, you can use all the plugins that you have in your collection. And if they are NKS compatible, NKS stands for, I think it's Native Control Standard. Let's see if I can open up an empty group here. So we can play with the browser and look at some of the sounds. So these are groups. We have 8 groups that we can access instantly from these buttons. And all of these groups can contain 16 pads with different sounds on each pad. Stone King FM, I was not using a Bitwig for this live jam. It's solely used the Maschine software. I don't think it's necessary to use it with a DAW. It depends on how you want to use it. I hear some people insert the Maschine software within the DAW and use it within a DAW host. But I think that it loses a little bit of the purpose of the machine. Because the good thing here is that you can completely kill the mouse, completely get rid of the mouse, and just work from the machine. So that's a big plus with this machine. You can even load and save songs. There's a file menu here, so you can load up tracks. You can save them and create new songs, sorry. Then you also have audio settings, so you can even change sound card, sample rates, buffer sizes. You have MIDI settings if you want to sync up this with another MIDI device. I've done a few jams where I've synced up this collection with the Digitact too. But today we're not going to use the Digitact. We're focusing solely on the machine. Yeah, so where was I? Yeah, we talked about the different sounds. So if I select the pad there, I select the group first here, this blue group. Then we select the new pad. You can see that some of these pads are not lit up, and that means that they are available for new sounds. So I select this brand new pad. We can go to the sound menu here, select plugin and sound, and we can see that this is a total empty. It's an empty pad. Then we can use this little rotary knob and add samplers, different devices, but we can also press the browser to get access to our instrument collection. And as I said earlier here, if they are NKS compatible, they show up here as instruments. You can see here that we have Albion 1, we have Albion 5, the Tundra, battery, yeah, some damage, and the excellent UHI synth Diva. So if I find the sound here, the good thing, if they are NKS compatible, you will have a playback and preview sounds for each of these different presets or patches, if you will. So that's really great if you're browsing through and want to find a specific sound. So we can just load up that FMR Juno 27. I don't know how well you can read the screen. It was a bit hard to set up the camera for this session. I tried to have an overview from above, but then it was totally unreadable. So I set up this little angle view. I hope it works. So yeah, when we find a sound here that we like, we can just load it up by pressing the knob, and it will be loaded into this pad. Now we can exit this plugin view, and now we should have this sound. Let's see if I have something muted. We have sound there. Yeah, I had the level down there. And then when we have loaded up a sound into this pad, you saw that I was pressing any of these buttons up here. Here we have first the pad mode, which is just for triggering pads. And you have probably seen a lot of videos on Instagram and YouTube where they do the finger drumming. But this track isn't a lot of finger drumming, it's more keyboard playing, and yeah. Well, the percussion was, of course, played with on the pads, but I usually load up a sound into a pad, then I go into keyboard mode. Okay, so let's see if we can change, get a little bit faster sound there. that's a great thing here with the machine, that you have all this hands-on control directly for filters and resonance and envelopes, LFOs, decays, etc. Okay, so let's take this little guitar instead. And we can go sideways here to access more parameters. Here is the first list of parameters for this Diva instrument. And we have the cutoff, resonance, envelope 2, an LFO. Hi there, young producer. Thanks, I'm glad you enjoy my channel. Let's see what more parameters we can find. We have a low pass filter there. Okay, so let's load up this little sound. Yeah, so this is all NKS compatible libraries up here. And these knobs that you see up here, they are touch capacitive. So you can just hold your finger on top of this knob and you can see the menu. So here I can see that we can select between drums, percussion and sound effects. Then this second knob will be for this sub menu. So we have a few sub menus to this percussion or sound effect. So we have a big bad metal. Let's see the metal sounds. Yeah, scrapyard. Let's go back to the drums here and go for some snares. Studio snares. And then it's very easy if we want to add effects to this sound. Now we have a snare on this pad. It's not triggering because I think this pad is triggering a key that doesn't contain a sound on this patch, but we can easily just use the keyboard here or go into keyboard mode and find which, I think it's C2 here, where we have the snares. And there we have a flam, quite nice. So if we want to add some effects to this pad, we can go to the plugin instance up here. Just press right. Are we back? Back in action? Okay, so now it should be working. I don't know why the mic dropped out there, but yeah. I think we were talking about resampling. Is the audio okay? Back online? Can you hear me? Yeah, so we were going to resample that this little sound. Great. Like the Polaris. Welcome. Yeah, so great. So we're going to resample this little sound. And yeah, just use another pad here. Press the sampler to go into the sampling mode. Press start, so the detection of the sample will start. And we can go back to this one. Let's see, we're going to resample into this pad. So we need to go in here, press stop, delete that sample. Let's see. We want to do that little tune ride. Let's start up the sampler. So you can see the sampling is it's turning red there, so we can see that it's sampling. Let's press stop, and now we should have this sample. It's quite high pitched. Yeah, so we could insert that little sample as a transition sound later on. Okay, so let's move ahead. So now we have checked the resampling on the machine. We can also select the old sample here if we would like to listen to that one too. So let's just get rid of this, the drum, which we had on that first pad. So now it's empty. And there we have a OMNISPHERE piano. And on this first one we have the Gentleman, I think. So the good thing about if some of these libraries that you use are NKS compatible, then you will have this nice icon. But of course you can load instruments that's not NKS compatible. I can show you here if we go to this third pad, which is currently empty now. We can go to the browser, and here we can go to user. And here we have some of these other libraries, like OMNISPHERE, which wasn't NKS compatible. I don't know if it is NKS at the moment. So you can see if I browse the presets in the users folder, we don't have any preview on the sounds. We can only see the patches. So this is a kind of, let's see here, game noise snare. Yeah. Fan drum snare. Fan drum kick. Yeah, quite cool. Let's see if we can go to some other sounds, not drums, but maybe some bells. Oh, that's high. Yeah, so this is basically a unofficial preset package for XML files for the OMNISPHERE patches. That's why you don't have the preview here. If it was NKS compatible, it would appear in our usual native instruments browser here. But we have to go to the users folder to see the OMNISPHERE. Like so. And the same thing, I have the play instrument here. And I've just, these are some personal presets that I've saved myself. Because you can go to the software and load up any type of instrument that you want, and then you save them, and then you can load them up with the hardware like this. So it's currently loading. And nice little glockenspiel there. Now we can test another cool feature. Let's see here, we can do... Okay, so let's see here. We can set the pad modes to link group 1, and now we can link this with this one, so we can have that little... So now we've given the sound a little bit of body with this sound. So you can see you can very quickly line up snares if you want to have maybe 4 snares triggering at the same time. It's very easy, just go into the link group here. We can trigger a piano at the same time, so maybe go to this piano and include that in the link group. There's 8 link groups. Yeah, so that's a quite nice feature that you can link these. So let's unlink this quickly. And go back to the browser, because let's go back to OMNISPHERE here. We can go to another category. So let's try that sound with some reflex. The reso chord, which will generate the chord resonation. Do some resonating peaks in different scales. But it's not the best sound to use the reso chord on, so we will go back again, the grain delay. So this is definitely a sound that would work with the track here. Yeah, so that sound actually worked quite well for that part. Yeah. So that's loading a few libraries that's not NKS compatible. So let's go back here. Okay, so we can load up another track maybe, because now we've been playing with this Marsiascope track. If you want to hear the full track, you can always go to my Spotify page, or Amazon Music, or some other streaming service. So let's go in here, file, load, and load up. Let's see. ChillStep. Discard changes. Like the Polaris, you had a question here. What is the principle of a fade-in and out pad? Where is the fade-in and fade-out pad? That's a nice sound. So this is another track. Let's see how that looks. So we can go into song mode and see if this is just a sketch or if it's a more full-blown arrangement ideas. Oh, so this is just a sketch. Yeah, so that's some percussive sounds on this bank, on the B bank, then on the A bank. I guess this is a sample, I think. No, it's the bass synth, okay. So there's a synth that comes with the Maschine. That's a weird sound. But anyways, that's the first pad here. Then we have this second pad. We have more of an ambient... yeah, so that's a piano sound again, but it's processed with some reverbs and some grain delays again. So it's like the reversed... yeah, reversed... grain delay. So it's extremely hard to play on this little mini keyboard, but it works for the videos here. Let's go. Hey, we have another filler sound from Form. So we can go into the pattern and see how this pad is played. So that's the bass on this pad 7. And then we have an empty pad. So that's some of the stuff that's on pad A here. Then we can look at solo, the pad B, the group B, that's the drums, and the group C. Maybe it's not, maybe it's muted. So there's a sampler, side stick beatbox. So let's see here, I'm having crackles. Let's bump up the buffer size a little bit here. And hopefully that will be kind to the stream. Do we have any new people in here today? Like the Polaris, cool. Yeah, some weird sound. So this is a transition sound. Then we have some empty groups here, some empty pads. And here I think the great thing here is that you can render your track, your performance. You can render that to a pad, and that's exactly what I have been doing here. I just set up the sampler here to internal recording. To record the internal master. So here you can see the whole track. So we can actually play the whole performance that I recorded previously from one pad here. So that's how I'm recording my performances on the machine. So now I'm just triggering a pre-recorded song of this arrangement, so to speak. Hi there, DJ Identificator. Nice to meet you too. So you have a question here. What is better, Maschine or Push 2 for Bitwig? I actually don't think that the Maschine mk3 is that good for Bitwig specifically, because you don't have so many options to control the DAW from the mk3. But on the other hand, from the Maschine Jam, you have much better integration with Bitwig. Because, yeah, you can do step sequencing, since you have a lot more. Maybe I can move this over a little bit. You have much more buttons on the Maschine Jam. And yeah, you can do mixing with the touch knobs, the touch strips. Sorry. Let's see here. Yeah, so I was just reducing the level here, the output level from the Maschine into OBS, the video recording software. Because I think it was peaking a little bit. Yeah, but yeah, I haven't really played around too much with the Push 2. I don't have a Push 2 myself. I've tried it out in a music store, but I haven't used it in my studio, so I can't really compare the Maschine or the Maschine Jam with the Push 2 at this moment. So sorry for that. But I can highly recommend the Maschine Jam, and I have a few videos and maybe some streams too, some previous streams where I used the Maschine Jam in conjunction with the Bitwig, and they blend very well together. So it's very easy to just launch clips if you're into the clip launching stuff, or you can use it as a mixer and control all your send effects. And there's also a special script. It's not an official script. It's made by someone called Felix, which will enhance the features that you can use with the Maschine Jam even more, so you have more access to features. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question about the Bitwig Maschine Push 2 stuff. Yeah, so that's the song. So let's see the drum pattern here. Haha, okay. So it's you, Lena, but not. Okay, good to see you anyway. Okay, so maybe just start from a clean slate, so you can see a little how I go about when I use the machine. So let's go into settings, file, and new project, discard changes. Okay, so your name is Alexander. Good to know. Now I know for the future. Thanks. So how are you this evening? So now we have a totally blank clean slate here. You can see that we only have one group lighting up red here, the A group, and one pad lighting up. But aside from that, it's a totally blank slate. So we can start by loading up sounds. So we press the browser. And yeah, find maybe some percussive sounds to begin with, to lay down a little foundation. And you can load up everything from complete groups, which will be a full group with the preloaded sounds. So we have a lot of kits that you can load up. And you can also, of course, load up total projects that's prepared by Native Instruments, but I'm not going to do that. We can load groups. That will be 16 pads filled with sounds. Or we can just go to sounds, which is separate, totally separate sounds. And of course, we can scroll here like forever, but we can also search by categories. So maybe we're just looking for drum sounds, just select the drum category here, and then go for, let's find some hi-hats. The Silver Sen. One thing to note here is that while you are in the browser, while you have the browser activated, the pad will be triggering at 100%. You can see I can't use the dynamics of the pad while I'm in the browser. It will just trigger 100%. So you have to go out from the browser to be able to play with dynamics. Okay, so let's load up another sound on this pad. We have this hi-hat. This second pad, go to the browser and find some other sound. We can also go to the samples folder. Here we have loops. If we want to load up loops, Tamonk, it's okay, it's okay. I know the feeling. Okay, photography, light and magic. Hi there, Alan. Good to have you here. Jay Brown, good to see you. Friday morning. You're in the future, man. Congratulations. So how's your Friday in Australia? What's on the schedule? Yeah, so we have the one-shots, and that's basically samples. So we were looking for hi-hats, so we can go to subcategory here directly. So we don't have to browse through millions of samples. So here we have some. So I'm trying to find a hi-hat that works with this first one. Thank you, Thamonk. I'm glad you liked the stream. I'm sorry for not being able to stream in 1920 by 1080, but hopefully in the future. It's 720p, I think, now. Maybe this one. A little bit more lo-fi stuff. Yeah, actually load that. I think we will load that. So now, as I said before, we need to go out here to be able to play this with dynamics. Now we can activate the arpeggiator, which can be quite helpful if you want to do this. So you can easily do these trap rolls with the machine. That's super easy. Just activate the note repeat and you're home. You're home in Trapland. And now I can also control the dynamics of the pad while we have this arpeggio going, this pulse. Okay, so let's find another sound. Some lo-fi hip-hop stuff. Maybe a little bit too far out there. Yeah, so this can actually be a quite nice sound. Yeah, so maybe we should look at the tempo here, and we can do some tapping if we know what kind of track we're going to make. And I'm shooting wild here today, so let's lower the tempo a little bit. 98 BPM, okay. So where does it take us? Yeah, so that can be quite cool. So we're going to pattern here, and we can set the length for the pattern that we are going to record. So let's see here. First we need to add a pattern, and now it says 8 bars. And yeah, that can be okay maybe for this little something. And let's activate this arpeggiator again, and then we can fire away with some. Let's see here, we need the pre-roll, the count-in. And to get the count-in on the machine, you just press the shift and record. Yeah, so there we have some. I will add a little bit of this one in the beginning there. So let's add some kind of kick in there. So we're going to the browser again to find some kind of kicky. Hi there, 10 Gry Music. How are you? We are making things. Go and find some kick. 808s. There's many 808s in here. But I don't want an 808. Yeah, so let's just load up a few sounds here. We can always go back and change stuff. So maybe we can have this as an alternative kick. And then you can always go in here, since we probably want to have the kicks quite low dynamic or hitting quite hard all the time. So we just drag down the amount of velocity percentage here, so it hits harder. Okay, so let's find some kind of snare. Or rim shot, maybe. Or some other kind of stuff that we can use as a snare. Rim Ultra. Superb. To stereo. Let's go to side stick instead. That's a weird one, but it maybe. So I will save this one, but load up another sound on this pad. So just loading up a little bit of reverb on that snare. So we get a little bit of a room sound. Maybe we can make this kick a little bit hotter with a little bit of compression and overdrive. We can always undo if we make mistakes, which I make all the time. Okay, we can actually now when we have compressed this a little bit, we can go ahead and give it back a little bit of that dynamic. I'm glad to hear that, Polaris. I'm very glad to hear you're learning a lot from the videos. Always appreciated. I'm very, very glad to hear that you learn stuff from that. Okay, so I'm just going to practice a little bit here to find out what kind of beat I want to record. I'm hearing shuffle here. I don't know why, but yeah. Yeah. So let's see, we go into pattern mode and we can see that I only recorded halfway. So we need to fill this place with some drums too. And we can go into quantize, because why not? Quantize. So maybe we can go up here and yeah, so now we have some drums on these patterns, on these pads, but we want to compress them. But yeah, you can of course go into each of these pads and add compressors to each of them, but we can also go into the group section here for the actual group and add a compressor to this, to the whole group. So just add a little bit of that. Okay, so there's a few questions here. How often do I do live streams? It happens occasionally, and often it's every second week, something like that. And every second week I do maybe 1 or 2 live streams. Sometimes less, sometimes more. It all depends on how much time I can spare. And yeah, I'm thinking about streaming for maybe another 20 minutes or something. So we can also add some saturation to the whole group. Just go up here and just do a little tiny bit of overdrive. Now we can also go into the group and check our levels here. And yeah, it's currently hitting quite high, but you can always just drag down the bus here if you think it's hitting too hard, because you often want to leave a little bit of headroom. Or a lot of headroom. Just drag that down a little bit. Okay, so let's fill in that second part with some drums. Like so. Yeah, so I know it wasn't that tight, but we can always go to the quantize. So let's select this one this time. This is the quantize 50%. So it's a little bit kinder. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. It's a little bit fiddly to edit MIDI on the machine, but often I just I re-record my stuff, and yeah, for minor tweaking it's okay. But if you're doing a lot of editing, it can quickly get frustrating. So here we can see that I have some notes a little bit off. Let's do the quantize 50%, and again, and now they're a little bit more on the grid. Since this is a quite long pattern, we can use maybe add some shaker in there too. So select another pad. And while this is rolling, we can go ahead and browse for more stuff. Yeah. Why not? But this is currently, this drum roll is currently set to 1 shot. That means it will play the whole sample. But we can set this to an ADSR, so we can control the amount of rolls. Okay, so let's go in here and reversed. But we want to have that in lesser volume. Okay, so maybe just add that little roll. Didn't like that one, so let's go ahead. So now we have a few rolls in there just to fill in a little bit. Just go ahead and find some more sounds. So I want some kind of shaker now, I think. Let's go into the percussion section. Yeah, so we can record that. I'm just activating the arpeggiator there and just adjusting the velocity here by pressing a little bit harder sometimes. Yeah, there we have a little bit of a shaker. Now we could add some delay to that shaker maybe, so we have a little bit of stereo things happening. So don't forget to leave a thumbs up and a comment on the video and the videos. It helps a lot. So let's see, maybe some final drum sound. Maybe some clave. Yeah. Yeah, so that can be a little bit of additional percussion there. Then we can always go ahead and do some automation, maybe to the panning, but I think this is okay. And yeah. So let's go ahead and maybe play some chords. Find some melody or some chords on this. So we have this group A with the percussion. Then we will take the group B here to introduce some melody or chords. Swords. Let's see here. Maybe a chord there on the first beat. We will also make sure that this sample is ADSR capable. And reduce that velocity sensitivity again so we can play like that, like so. So get rid of the lows. Maybe so. We need some delay on that, I think. Yeah, so let's trigger that, and let's see here in the pattern, we add a pattern to this group. And it can be actually... Yeah, we can always extend this, so let's have it at 4 first. And add some in-between stuff there, because we just have a chord there on the first hit. Maybe this could work. Yeah, so that's a quite cool sample there. Just a little bit dry, so we add some effects to that. So you can shoot me any questions in the comments if you have any questions on what I'm doing here. Let's drag that down in the mix too. Okay, so we go to the third slot here. And not guitars. It's a weird sound. Some -2 up to 5 there to do some. Or we could just let's see if we can activate the glide if we take legato there. It's a quite nice little chill sound. Thank you, Music Collab. Maybe that can work. Yeah, so I will add this last note with another instrument. So I will begin by an octave above here, and then we will have this. Oh, sorry. We can actually skip the counting, I think, because okay, so now I made a mistake there. Now we can actually just look at the undo here, because I wanted to have that an octave below. Okay, so let's do that again, like that, and then we will have the... Okay. Damn. Sometimes the pitch buttons doesn't work here, but we can just redo it. Yeah, so let's add that the last note there, but we can add that with another instrument. So instead of looking at these one shots, we can go to an actual instrument, and find a synth of some sorts. There's such a large collection that it's starting to get hard to navigate. Maybe some kind of form. We just need something simple here. Maybe just some massive stuff. Okay, so I will do that kind of little drill there, but with some effects. The metaverb, always a nice reverb. Yeah. Okay, so starting to sound a little bit like a synthwave here. Maybe this is not the right sound, but yeah, we can we can always go back and change. Yeah, I can just put that down. Okay, so let's add a little lead on top of that. So I'm thinking here, I'm doing a little bit of planning. At least that's what I think I'm doing here. So we have these drums on this pad, and I added a performance effect there. So you can have this stuff going on. Hi there, Photobox. Good to see you. How are you this evening? Welcome. Okay, so we have that that stutter effect on the drums, then on this melodic weird stuff, we can add some other kind of performance effect. maybe we can just have the burst echo. Oh, congratulations! Congratulations! Welcome to the Bitwig Club photo. There's no turning back. So how do you like the Bitwig? I guess you downloaded Bitwig 3? Okay, so now I need some lead, and I'm thinking here, should I add the lead to a new group, or should I use the same? Or maybe we should add the bass. And we can have this on the bass on group C. So a bass. Okay, so let's look here. So the arpeggio does not work with the MIDI from the keyboard, but the arpeggiator works with the pads. So it's in E, and we need to do a little bit of maybe like that. Synthwave. Let's see here. So we can have different kind of rhythms here with the arpeggiator, which is quite nice. And now I selected 3 octaves, and we have the sequence number 2. Let's try this one. Yeah, this is what makes the machine so fun. There's instantly jammable stuff here, and we can go on the whole night here, just jamming this little beat. Okay, I just read your question here, or your reply here, Photo XBR. You're having trouble routing your MIDI to the hardware synth editor, VSTs. Okay. But hopefully it's solvable. I don't have too much MIDI gear hooked up to Bitwig. Occasionally I have the Digitact hooked up. And yeah, sometimes the Maschine Jam, as you've probably seen in some stream. Okay, so I think we're going to do a few different patterns with the bass. We can have one pattern with this kind of, yeah, the stuff that I played now. Then we can have some other patterns with another type of bass playing. Or more, so I'm going to play a little bit more sparse now on this first pattern. So we have, yeah, room for the other sounds. Okay, so I just recorded the first half. I always remember that I have it set to 8 bars. There, now we have the bass. So now we can either add a filter to this bass and or do some wavetable position fiddling. Yeah, it might be so, Photo X. I don't have too much experience with using hardware with Ableton. I actually hope to do a little review of the latest Ableton here in a few weeks. And I have an upcoming review on the Studio One 4.5. Which will be fun because it's been quite a while since I played around with Studio One. It's been like, I think it was 2012 something. I think it was when I was composing for a game called Pocket Minions, if I remember correctly. So maybe we can load up some old projects in Studio One. Okay, so I'm going to save this project because we have been fiddling for a little while. There we go. Mr. Fylledal. What a name. Yeah. So it's easy to add filters here, and you're not limited to only these native instrument effects, because you can change here from internal effects to, yeah, obviously the native instruments, but you also have these other VSTs and AU plugins. So we can add Pancake, Camel Crusher, a little bit of Camel Crusher. Oh, that's nasty. Nope. Remove. So what can we add here? Flex. The Hornet. Maybe some kilohertz plugin. I'm just mixing in this lo-fi bit crusher, just a little bit, a little tad there. So it adds a little bit of grittiness to the top end of the bass, just to try it out. Yeah, so let's find some more fillers. I think there's a few places there in that we can add some nice sounds to. So here we have an empty pad again, and let's find maybe some bleepy sounds. I think that's a quite nice little filler sound, but maybe just get rid of a little bit of the low end, because we want to have the bass fill up all that stuff. And use that. And just have that little sound at the end of the loop phrase. Yeah. So I will add it to the end. Nope. Must do that again. Again, let's see from the beginning. Let's go to the first pattern here and add a cymbal to the first hit. So we have a little bit of interesting things happening. Drums. China. This sound also has a lot of, I hear some low end in there, so let's get rid of that for the cymbal. We only want the top end in the cymbals. So here we can experiment with the different playback modes. So we have the standard engine, MP60, S1200 and some other. This is a little bit more lo-fi. It's a nice resonating reverb. Weird resonating. Yeah, some nice sheen there to the top end. And just drag that down in the mix a little bit. Maybe have some. So maybe do. Okay, so we have a very light snare. Maybe we can have an alternative pattern with a more heavy snare. So let's go find a more heavy snare. not totally satisfied with this one yet. Okay, so we can try another pad and see if we can find another snare. Nope. Yeah, okay, so let's look at another snare, more tight. I think that works much better in this lush arrangement. Yeah. So I will do a copy of that pattern. Just duplicate there. So now we have the same pattern here, and on this one we will add this additional little snare. Nope. And a little bit of mixing there to drag down this snare a little bit. Oh, you came back, Polaris. Okay, do we have any questions? Any questions here on the machine? Okay, so we have the bass, we have some stuff, and then we should add some melody. so that's a fun lead. A fun little lead. Save. What? Yeah, so we had a question here. Again, machine software standalone, Mac or PC. I'm using a machine with a Mac, but it's not standalone. You have to use it with a PC or a Mac, because you have to use it with the Maschine software. It's like a DAW, but you can load up the Maschine software within a DAW. So you can load it within Logic or Bitwig or Ableton or whatever. Sander Cage Guy. You have a question here. Probably doesn't belong into this jam session, but it would be nice to see how you proceed with the Maschine project with Bitwig to make it a complete DAW song. Cheers. Thanks for the session. Yeah, but most of the time when I'm producing on the Maschine, I actually continue and work on the Maschine, because you can go into something called the arranger or arrangement view. And here you can set up, you can see that we have a one scene here. I hope you can see it on the lo-fi camera here. But I have 3 patterns going there, and I can jam and stuff with that. Then we can add another scene and have maybe just these 2 patterns running. Yeah, so I can build up an arrangement on the Maschine. Yeah, okay, PhotoBX. Again, yeah, it's a standalone software. I can show you. Let's see here, if we flip the screen for just a second here and go to the regular screencast view. Here you can see the Maschine DAW, and it's just this standalone app, which you can launch in Mac or PC. But you can also load this up as a plugin within a DAW. And the good thing about doing that, if you're into that, you can drag and drop these patterns and drop them onto the DAW. So you can drag like audio files over from Maschine software into the DAW. Okay, so I need a filter on the bass there. So let's go to the bass. I'm going to flip back the screen again, because I think I see more interesting stuff from this view. Yeah, it's a groovy thing going on there. And it's really nice, because you have these performance effects. That's what I'm doing here on the Maschine Jam, but you can do the performance effects on the Maschine mk3 too here. So if I select the first group, which is the drums, then I can control the performance effect for just that one group. But the good thing about having the Maschine Jam is that you can control all 8 groups' performance effects at the same time. Because as you can see here on the MK3, I need to jump between all these groups in order to control their specific performance effect. So I can only control one group at a time. But yeah, sometimes it's not a problem, but it can be really nice to be able to control them all at the same time, like you can see that I'm doing here. So I could have we could add let's see here. Thanks, Sander. Yeah, absolutely. It's a groovy song. I'm feeling the vibe here. But yeah, I would probably add some more parts and do some alternative patterns too, because now we only have this pattern going on with this alternative scene 2, where I have just deactivated a few of the patterns. So we can have this like an intro. And do a little build up here. Yeah, so you cannot photo BX. I know you cannot freeze tracks in machine software standalone. So how is the CPU load when using multiple instruments? Yeah, it actually works quite nice, but as long as you stay away from too many divas and too many, of the bigger, more CPU intensive plugins, it's okay. At least for I don't know if were you here in the beginning when we were checking out my first track, the Marsiascope. It has quite a lot of different instruments going on. On this track we only have this massive bass and yeah, this massive melody and some samplers, and they are of course not CPU intensive. Sentry, hello. Hi there, where from? Welcome to the stream. Okay, so we have that little thing going on, and I was going to add some more stuff. So let's go in here and see if we can add another instrument and another lead maybe. And maybe just some diva, just because I was saying that if you use too many divas, it's going to be madness. That's some retro leads. So we're not going to add that, but it was fun to play with it. Yeah. That can be quite cool effect. So let's just... I need to go to the bathroom here, but I'm going to run this. Yeah, so I was going to add some kind of lead here, or effect. Sounds like some kind of distant trumpet, but I don't think it works. Maybe we can find some vocal samples. One shots and go into vocal.
Baby. Boy, brown.
Okay, so let's change that to ADSR again. Maybe I can also make this one loop. because it is possible here. To make the zone active loop. There we have it. Yeah. Yeah, 10 GR. It is RetroChill. So we have a little bit of filler. In Bitwig you don't have a freeze, but you have bounce, and you can bounce audio to the same track. So that's like freezing. So you still have your original settings and stuff. And it also features this deactivate function, so you can deactivate tracks. But we can take that in another stream or another video. And I can show you that stuff. Okay. We need to fix the velocity there. And of course, reduce the low end. A little bit of chorus and some reverb. It's quite high, so we need a compressor. So we can maybe add that. Let's see here. Yeah, so this can be another pattern. So let's just go ahead here and create a pattern for this, and it can be 4 bars long, something like that. Of course, it always happens when you want to record, play like a, I don't know. Maybe do that instead. Yeah. Okay, so I will re-record that again. So maybe this part. Maybe I could fill that little drill with another instrument too. Okay, so what will I... Okay. So I need to press this pad mode, the second pad, and then we can load up this other. And we need to do this ADSR thing again. And maybe copy some of the effects from this first track. We could actually just do it like this. Duplicate this one into this pad. So now it's the same, but then we can just replace the sampler there. Or replace the sound. Not the looper, it should be the sampler. There we have it. And ADSR. Need some grit to be able to push through the mix a little bit, and then we have this drive. But maybe this could be a little bit more dry then, since the first one has so much reverb. Okay, so no, on the first hit there. should maybe add some LFO to that. Let's see here, where are the LFOs to the cutoff? And then we can go and activate the filter. So it's a little bit so maybe this should be used for another part of the track, maybe, because we already have that. We don't want to add too much stuff, because they sound a little bit the same too, so maybe we could just look for another sound. It's just silly, a silly sample.
Crunch. Crunch.
Let's go back to the arrangement here and deselect that one. And for this There we have it. So now we can flip between these two scenes where we have a few different melodic ideas. Where do we have the melodies? So yeah, we need to replace that. So let's go to... We can go to, let's see here. Yeah, massive again. Nope. Yeah, so that's another idea that we could record, but yeah, I'm just gonna skip that one for now. So let's select another pad here and go for another sound. Yeah, so let's just look at one final thing here. We could make use of the lock mode to create a kind of intro. So if we just would go to a scene 3 and make sure that pattern 1 plays, and this pattern 2, or just the pattern 2. Then we could set up some kind of stuff on this group, because this is the only group that is playing now. So we could go into the group mode here. Of course, we have the burst, which we could play with, but there's some other stuff we could do. We could insert this excellent grain delay. And now we could play with the lock mode. So I drag down this effect and make sure that it's 0 mix. And then we go into the lock modes and create a new lock mode. So now this is basically a snapshot of all the settings for this pattern, for this beat. And then we create a new pattern, a new lock mode on this second pad. And now we go ahead and just drag up this mix to the maximum for this grain effect. And when we have done that, we can press update. And now this lock mode, which is the snapshot of the effects, will be at 100%. So if I press this one and we go back, we can see it's 100%. Go to the lock mode again and press the first one, and it's 0%. And now we can move between these two lock modes. So let's just press this one, so it's launched, and then we can say morphing and morph for 2 bars between these two lock modes. Just press play. Let it roll for a while. And now we can press this one. And it will slowly, gradually fade to this normal mix mode. So we can go back to that other mode again. And do the same thing for the drums here. So we can go back and look at the mixer here. Let's see if we have all the... Yeah, we activate this drum group too. And we do the same thing. We go into the drum group and add some kind of effect here. We can maybe do the same thing, add a grain delay for the drums too. Maybe that effect. So let's drag that down for our first lock mode. No, this is the second one, okay. So we drag the mix up here, go to the lock mode and press update. Then we go to the first lock mode and we drag down the mix and update this one. So now it should also move if we jump between these two. So there we have it, a nice transition. Yeah, so that's basically how you can use the lock modes to create these breakdown parts. Okay, so I think that's going to be all for this little stream for tonight. So I hope you had a nice little time here jamming with me. Do we have any questions before shutting down? Thanks for joining in today. Sander, Cage Guy, and yeah, Polaris, 10GR, Photo BX, Photo XBR. Yeah, so I'm going to close down now. So have a nice evening, have a nice day, and have a nice Friday. And yeah, see you in the next video or stream. Bye.